Hi guys, good evening. It's a beautiful weekend again. This is the voice of Trade with World Bank, and for those that are coming to my YouTube channel for the first time, I want to say welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon so you can get beautiful contents like this whenever I drop one. Okay. Yes, as usual, we always look at the weekly outlook, right? And what we should be expecting for next week, if I'm correct. That's what we always do on these three pairs: Euro CHF, GBP JPY, and then Euro USD. Okay, so let's start with Euro CHF and then where we stopped last week. Now, last week, let's quickly go back in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this was where we were last week, and last week I was saying this. I was expecting a touch into this point of interest, right? Then we can look for buying opportunities into this major sell point of interest, if I'm correct, right? Now, remember, we drew out the liquidity grab zone here because we had a mitigation from the daily time frame. Yeah, from something like this. Yeah, this supply zone there. Then we refined it down to the 4-hour time frame. And remember that clearly. And after the mitigation, immediately mitigated, there was what? Liquidity grab. Okay, so that's more like Wyckoff schematic. And you should know that whenever there's liquidity grab, in fact, the entry is always sharp. Is either you don't look for entry or you wait for what? Confirmation entry at that point. So you can see if you are using start spending order, you're using 27 pips SL. But using risk entry, you get up to 5 pips SL using conservative entry rather. Okay, yeah, so to quickly recap, everything was, I think, bearish. Yes, everything was bearish, so we're looking for, since especially study this weekly supply zone, since then we've been looking for what? Selling opportunities and then short positions. So let me quickly refer back to the video. Yeah, this is it here. That's okay. So that will be that for Euro CH. Okay, higher low. So probably market wants to give us a new higher high, but we can't say it. So let's just follow the other flow we have on the smaller time frame, which is the 1-hour time frame. But if we don't get a confirmation here and the market breaks this zone, then you should know that the sell are still very, very active like that. Okay, so that will be that for Euro CHF. Now let's move. Yeah, so I was expecting a mitigation here, right? And then if we didn't get any confirmation, we should what? Continue selling. Or else, nonetheless, if we get a confirmation to buy to chips, then this is our major sell zone that we want to look for selling opportunities. So if you want to just go have a quick recap, you can go to the video section. It's going to come up and then you can watch it again. Okay, so now let us analyze what we have. Okay, so market opened and let's see if it's got to the zone. It didn't get, let's check. So it almost got to the demand zone as we anticipated, but didn't get there. Remember, we still have a supply zone, bigger supply zone we want to work with. And now this has created more liquidity, right? Okay, so let's keep watching. Now market has tapped into that point of interest, right? So I want to use confirmation entry now, which is, let's go to the 3 minutes time frame. Let's use 3 minutes time frame today. Yeah, so all we need to wait for is a break of structure, right? Because now there's imbalance. There's imbalance here that needs to be filled, and definitely we know that market should sell, fill the imbalance. Okay, so what I'm waiting for, I want to see something like this, a break of structure, which I have seen. Okay, then this is the zone that broke structure, right? Okay, how many pips is this? I can use 10 pips SL, okay? So now I've reduced my pips from 27 or 30 pips SL to 10 pips SL, and let's see how this is going to play out. So at this point, I've gotten another break of structure, okay? I can't say this is a break of structure yet. Okay, I didn't get another break of structure. If not, I would have asked that, okay, maybe lock profit or something. So let's see what the market is doing with us now. We've gotten a break of structure here. Now, for those that love to re-enter, they can, set lock profits or whatever, and try to take another trade here, right? Try to take another trade, this point of interest here. Okay. So that's the second POI, if I'm not mistaken, like this. So I've secured the, let me draw out my line. I've secured something like this, right? Definitely, if I'm using big lot size, you expect me to have closed half probably, depending on the profit I'm seeing in the market. So I've locked profits to entry, and then I've seen another entry in case market stops me out, okay? So that is a reasonable way to trade. Okay, now my entry is triggered. My stop loss has not been triggered. Let's see. Okay, so now my stop loss has been triggered. Second entry has also been triggered. Let's see how it's played out. Okay. Yeah, so since then it's dropped massively. Okay, dropped massively. Almost nuked my SL at this point, but still I had 10 pips SL, so it's always good to use a bigger SL. Okay, don't be so selfish with stop loss. Don't be selfish with your stop loss. I didn't mean I've used something like 8 pips SL now or 2 pips SL would have taken me out immediately. So never be greedy with your stop loss. Don't mind Instagram traders that always use 2 pips SL and so on. I also do use 2 pips SL, but this is not the entry I use. You understand? So take notes. Take notes. So just for the sake of this video, I'm using this entry and you can see it's working so perfectly well. And the trade went into profits like that. So you'd have gotten almost 50 pips from this free setup that I just help you out on this YouTube channel. So it's not as if I'm just here on this YouTube channel to make fake analysis that won't work out for you or that won't help you. No, I'm here to give you analysis that will work for you. So some weeks ago also, this analysis was played out for some people. On GBP also, there was analysis that played out for some people. So if you are a good follower of this YouTube channel or a good subscriber rather, you should make good use of most of this analysis because at least 70% of it always plays out. Okay, so you can see how it's beautifully dropped. Wow, you can see how it's beautifully dropped almost 277 pips. So had it been I was trading Euro CHF, I definitely would catch this trade. You understand? But Euro CHF is not part of the trades, the currency pairs I trade, and I'm fine with that. Okay, so you can see give almost 300 pips. Very beautiful trade. You can see now. So I know some people always like to hold like me. I lock profits once my trade is going in my direction and is giving me enough profits. I would be closing some of my lot size and leave runners to run. Okay, so that is what I always do, and definitely I would have cut this one. Definitely. So I think that's that on Euro CHF and how it's played out for last week. Okay. Now let's play it finish and see what we have for this week. Now Euro CHF, what we have for this week, I'm still expecting to continue selling, nothing much. We have a zone here. If you get a confirmation that you can sell, or the next zone should be here. Okay. Yeah. But I doubt this zone is going to hold because it's just so near. And Asian session will do a lot of things, so I doubt it. Okay. But I still think this one should hold because it's a more premium zone. Remember, like what I said last week, we want to buy low and sell high. So selling high in this place will give you more returns than selling low here. Okay. I think that is all. So you can see if you had used aggressive entry, you have gotten in without any confirmation. but still confirmation would have given you more risk to reward. Now let's move to the second pair, which is GBP JPY. Yeah, going back to GBP JPY, last week I remember clearly that we had a bigger supply zone that made this drop successful. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the weekly. So for me, I'm still very bullish on this. Just that it might be giving us a little bit of retracement before it goes up. Since this mitigation here, it has been bullish. Yeah. Okay, which was this zone? Yeah. I remember clearly I said I didn't delete a supply zone. But that's why I don't always delete my supply zones. I can remember that clearly. Yeah, so mitigating that, entering into the 1 hour time frame, give us what we needed, break of structure, mitigation, and then entry. Okay, it's clean as that. Reduce half of the zone. 15 pips SL and 300 pips target. Okay, I think that is nice enough. Now, what am I expecting for GBP JPY? I'm expecting. Okay, this was last week, right? So yeah, last week it was somewhere. It was on a demand zone somewhere here, if I can remember clearly. And then I was explaining, was it not WYCKOFF? Yeah. Then I can't even remember what I did. I draw out the supply zone here. Let's quickly check. Move to the Euro US derivative. Give us a change. Give us a continue coming down. Well, now. It's when that's that is the bro. I read them. These are the okay. So I had this supply zone here and then this supply zone here. Okay, I think I drew this one correctly. And then the second supply zone was here. Yeah, my settings didn't save, so I didn't really get that. Then I was talking about entry here on 5 minutes. Now let's check that. Yes, I said if we want to get an entry here, don't play the video because I remember clearly. We'd wait for that. We'd wait for a mitigation. Then we should wait for a break of structure before we get an entry here. Why? Because this zone, there's liquidity below me here, right? There's liquidity here. So I shouldn't jump into entry, wait for a break of structure, and then use that to what? To enter. Okay? So what was the second entry I was explaining? Let me go back. The zones for we are all planning to buy it. Remember there's a rule that yeah, then I explained Fibonacci here using that 1 hour time frame that this Fibonacci zone is better because it is on a premium level rather than this one. Okay, but nonetheless, if I get entry on any of the zones, my entry will be my confirmation to enter the trade. That says so to sell right at 1 point. So time make this yeah, so for me there's still some sort of liquidity which I'm expressing this. There is a zone here. Let me explain. The entry is what yeah, and then the second entry was after the liquidity grab, right? I was explaining that after a liquidity grab like this, then wait for a break of structure and then move to the upside. Okay, and the first entry was don't enter immediately, wait for it to mitigate and let it give you a break of structure. Okay, so let's see that. Market opening. Definitely everyone is going to be asleep. Let me use this to check. So definitely London session should come in soon. And it didn't even mitigate any zone. So you can see what I was explaining. Had it been you had set your instant spending order here, you'd have got red, right? So because there's liquidity below us, wait for it to give us a new break of structure. Okay, so that's a new style of entering. No, it's not even a new style, but it's still a style of entering. It's a style of filtering out trades that you should take and that you shouldn't take. It's a good point of interest, yes, but there's liquidity below. So once you want to enter, wait for a break of structure. Be sure that this demand zone is going to hold or taking off. That is what I was trying to explain. So I think that one just went like that, and then it has gone past the zone. Okay, so definitely you will be looking for any opportunities. So in the process, it almost mitigated this zone here. Then we'll come to this. So last week there is a supply here, right? New supply. So you can see this is a supply zone too, but I really don't like that type of zone. So since then, I don't think this one gave any entry at all. Now this is a new supply zone again. Okay, so this one, let me go down to the 3 minutes for entry, right? But at this point, everybody's going to be asleep because it was an Asian session trade. So let's see what will happen after London session. So that's why I'm using this red line. So once the market is outside this red line, I know that the market is done with the Asian session. Okay, now this is the London session, right? Market has started the London session, and there's a break of structure like I would like to see. You can see there's a break of structure. Remember, this is a 1 hour point of interest, and this is how you could have entered this trade. Okay, yeah, you can use 10 pips SL like that, and let's see how it's going to play out. Okay, so you can see it didn't mitigate back inside the zone, so you could have deleted the order at that point. It's mitigated it and sold sharp. Mitigated and sold sharp. So now let's go back to that 3 minutes time frame and check if there were entries during the Asian session. Okay. The only entry I can see here is this, and then it also didn't get mitigated. This is a break of structure here, and then we've got another break of structure here, right? So that was the only break of structure that mitigated clearly. As you can see, it mitigated this clearly, hadn't been missed this overall one here, right? So I think that is a good soon to look for selling opportunity. But for me, I'll be um interested in taking sales from higher zones rather than mid zones. I don't think I got a mitigation here like this, then I'll be so interested in this second mitigation. But I didn't get a mitigation here, so not sure if this supply is going to hold or if this one too is going to hold. But fortunately, it did hold. Okay, so that is something about trading. It's based on what you don't know because you don't know what is going to happen next. So it's always good to preserve your capital and trade. Yes. Yeah, and trade what you are used to. Okay, I'm not used to entering this kind of trades, so that's why I didn't explain it here. Then after the mitigation and takeouts, we've got another supply zone there. Okay, that's another mitigation. So let's enter the 3 minutes time frame to check. Yeah, you can see. Okay, I'm waiting. So you can call this a break of structure too. Yeah, that's a break of structure. Ah, okay. That's a break of structure. How wow, the BC trade is going well. So that's a break of structure. We have used that zone, right? So So you'd have gotten stopped out here if you are using this same entry, right? You have gotten stopped out here. So let's see how this one will play out. It doesn't stop me from still entering more. Remember, I don't use this entry. I only use this entry for the sake of this video, for this YouTube channel, okay? So came down back inside our zone. Okay, let's see what market is trying to do here. We've got another break of structure here. So this is the zone that caused the break of structure. Stop loss above. So after two trades, two losses on a row, I'm out. But I don't use this entry, so I rarely get like two losses on a row on a single trade. Like I'm just using this for illustration, okay? I hope you'll understand now. And then market is ranging. I don't know what's going to happen. Now midnight, okay? You might have deleted your order if you are type that has bad spread. Might have deleted the order. I also have deleted my order, and okay, went outside the zone. Let's see how everything is going to be at the end of the day. Yeah, so this one totally went outside the zone, okay? So that would have been a -1 for you there. I think there was news here, right? So that doesn't matter though. So yeah, you'd have gotten, if you are type that trades on a row after hitting SL, not bad. If you are type that trades that doesn't trade after hitting SL, also not bad. So you can see the entry didn't work here, didn't work there, and now we are moving to a new point of interest. But for this is a news movement, right? So you might not want to enter immediately. You might want to enter after the news. All right, so that is where market is currently. What am I expecting for GBP, JPY for next week? There's a demand zone there, right? Grab liquidity to the upside. Grab liquidity to the upside, give me a demand zone. So I also want to follow what that's order flow. Remember, I'm still very bullish on GBP, JPY. Maybe that's why this sales didn't work here, because of after the liquidity grab, you always want to move in the direction of the markets with the liquidity grab. Yeah, so it's always very important. So that's another way to filter out trades. Then what am I expecting for GJ next week? I don't want to take sales again, right? Because I've gotten liquidity grab here. So grabbing liquidity to the upside. Yeah, so that'll be my first area of target area, and probably this zone. Probably this zone. So we have two zones to sell and one zone to buy. But overall, I'm very bullish, so I wouldn't like to take sales. But still, if you get entries there, then there's no problem. It's fine. Okay. But if you've gotten a buy here, make sure you hold it. You understand? This sell here might just be a minor sell to retrace to the upside. Okay. Might just be a minor sell to retrace. So make sure you hold on to this buy. Make sure you hold on to it. Or else if that zone doesn't hold, if you don't get an entry there, this is the last demand zone. Okay. So make sure you hold those buys once you get an entry. Okay. Nothing hard, just simple, just trust the process. Okay. I saw something on BTC earlier and it's doing the most. It's doing the most. It's doing the most. I won't say much on that. Yeah, so lastly, Euro USD. I think we've even spent a lot on this video, 24 minutes. I didn't plan to stay long like this. So we're also going to look at volatility index also. So stay with me. Once it's 9 o'clock, I have this class with my students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't let me go back in time, because Euro USD didn't meet any of either of our supply zones. So remember, Euro USD played out nicely. If you've been following Euro USD, at least should be profitable with my setups that I've been sending. So now Euro USD didn't mitigate our zones for last week. Now what should we be expecting on Euro USD? Let's go back to the weekly time frame. Still very, very bearish, right? Still very, very bearish. I never forget fundamentals, okay? They are very, very important. Never forget fundamentals. Yeah, very bearish. So I'm still standing on these two zones. Okay, still standing on these two supply zones for what selling opportunities. Yeah. Now let's move to volatility index SR. That's what I'm seeing on BTC. Wow, 6%, 6%. Yeah, so if you want beautiful trades and beautiful setups from me, can chat me, but you know it's not free. It comes with mentorship and it's lifetime offer. Chat me on WhatsApp or Telegram for that. Let's quickly move to volatility 75 and volatility 75 1x. Wow, nothing so precious about this. Let's check last week analysis. This was last 2 weeks, played out nicely. So you can see we are not yet to play. I can't really remember if this was part of last week's, okay, but yeah. Now we are moving to the upside. I really don't have I can't have a bias like this. I don't like this setup. I don't like this type of setup. But so far we only have a good supply zone. I'm still standing on this supply zone. Okay, I'm still standing on that supply. Nothing else. I really don't like this kind of setups. I don't like this kind of setups. So please don't ask me why. So let's move to volatility 75 1x index. Yeah. Okay, so these were two setups we were expecting last week. This one didn't play out well, and this one also didn't play out well. Definitely looking at this, if you didn't even going down to the 5 minutes time frame, I'm very certain that you won't get any confirmation entry here. Very, very certain, 100% certain that you won't get an entry here. So let's just jump down to the 5 minutes SR to verify that. Definitely, I'm very certain you won't get the 5 minutes break of structure, blah blah blah, on that zone. Very certain about that. So as you can see, there was no break of structure, so I wouldn't see why you should enter a trade like that. Okay, because when I say setup, you should always expect that. That's why I always say wait for your what entry. Make sure you wait for your entry. Now, what should we expect again? Can see also on one run straight above it. Now, okay, I love what I'm seeing here now. We have some demand zones to work with. Yeah, so you can work with these demand zones also to take buying opportunities. Yeah, I still prefer this to what I was saying earlier on 1S index. So I think this will be all for now. Never play with all these analysis. Don't take it for granted. If you want more signals, mentorship, strategies, entries, more on entries, it's all included in the lifetime mentorship. So just message me for that. 100 USD. Yeah, I think that will be all for now. If you are new to this channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button. If you love this video, like it, click on the like to help the algorithm. Make sure you also share to your friends and family who are having issues analyzing trades when it comes to smart money concepts. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Never forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps a lot. Okay. I think that will be all for now. And I'll say peace, guys. Stay safe. I'm out.